Hi, welcome back. Right, I'm going to build this. Not decided. I'd like to build it as a one video, but I find it's quite a lot to this kit, so it's a big kit. So you could build it in like half an hour and skim over how you build it, or I could build it in detail. I haven't decided yet. I'll start and we'll see how it goes. So basically, you start off with this piece here, which is the undercarriage bay. It's the bit where the front nose wheel fits, and you just basically glue that together. Right, so actually the instrument panel fits on there as well. I'm not using that instrument panel because it's got a PE one in the kit. So you got the instrument, you glue that together, and then this bit goes on the top of it. I'm pretty sure it goes that way up, like so, and that creates the cockpit floor. And then you start building things from that. So I'm going to get those bits glued together. I'll be back in a minute. And then you also glue that bit onto there like that. Now just here there's two holes, and that's where you would put the foot pedals for the pilot. But if you're putting the pilot in, you can't put the foot pedals in because his feet get stuck apparently. Right, I've primed the fuselage sides. No, they aren't the fuselage side. Well, they are, but they're inside. There's the fuselage on the outside. This is like a cockpit tub that you're building at the moment. That's the cockpit floor. I did actually sand up the nose. This part here, because it had a seam line down the centre of it. I don't think you can see it, but I didn't like the look of it. I've painted inside there silver. So that's done. That's the fuselage internal sides, if you like, as a rear bulkhead. I've done them in Mr. Surface in black. I use it for everything. This is fantastic stuff. Just goes down really nicely. And I've started adding. This is the PE thing that you get with it, and some of it's for the sides of the fuselage, and there's some dials there. There's a PE part to go on there, and there's one on this side as well. And there's this unit here has to be built up and put on there. So it's typical PE stuff. I always find that the colour of the PEs never matches the colour that you paint, so you have to try and blend it in a little bit. As much as it's alright as PE, it's not perfect, is it? Because it don't blend in the same. It never will either. But what I'll do, I'll get it all fitted and stuff, and I'll lacquer over it, and I'll do some dry brushing on it just to bring out some detail and things. I need to build up the instrument panel. This is the instrument panel here. You need to cut off all the detail if you're going to use it. You need to cut all the detail off this so that this will fit on there. So I'll get that done as well. So I'll be back in a bit. Right, progress on the cockpit. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but yeah, I've decided to fit the. There's my little pointer now. I fitted the foot pedals because I've decided not to fit the pilots because this cockpit's very, very good. I've got to say I'm very impressed with it. I'll try and show you some more details. That's all the PE and decals as well. You can do either or. What I've done, I've added the decals as well in some cases, just to kind of beef up some of the PE, because Edward PE is typical of it. It's quite flat, it's not very contrasty. So what I've done, I've fitted some of the PE, which gives you some detail, and then I've put the decals on top of the actual PE itself to give it a bit more punch. Trying to get that to focus. So yeah, that's that side wall done, and that's this side wall done. That's very good actually. It's got a lot of levers and stuff and things in it, and that. So all the PE's in there. And this is the instrumentation panel with the foot pedals in it. You got levers on there as well. I'm pretty impressed with it, to be fair. It's very good, but it's taken a lot of doing. I didn't film it because it's such delicate work. I can't concentrate. I have to get so close to it and see what I'm doing. And a number of times I've dropped all the bits on the floor. It's unbelievable. So I just did it off camera, unfortunately, because I couldn't film it. And what I'm doing now, I don't want to overdo this because, I don't want to knock all the PE off. But I'm just using a bit of Tamiya. He uses quite a lot actually. He's Weathermaster, isn't it? I find sand is quite a good one. It's pretty universally good at dry brushing anything. But I'm not putting much on. I'm just it'll blow off with all this, by the way. It just picks out a little bit of the detail. Now, if you look at the book that I've got with it, I think I've shown the pictures already. They do look quite sandy inside these things. They look like somebody's chucked a Hoover bag in there. But obviously that's an old aircraft that's showing pictures of. This isn't an old one, is it? It must be a flying aircraft. But it just picks out a little bit. What I'll do, I'll brush out the bits I don't want. But it's just staining the black and making it a little bit look almost grey, if anything. So that's all I'm doing with it. I'm not going to go mad. You can't see it as well on camera, but it's just enough. And you can see quite a lot of this inside when you've got the cockpit closed up, but it's not dramatic. You know, I want more in that footwell there. I'm not going to overlay it. I might dust that up a bit, as I say. So it would have footprints and mud in there from all that sort of business. But I don't want to make it look really grubby, because I don't think they are. Not a flying one. I think they look reasonably clean. But that's enough for the footwells and for the foot pedals. I was very cautious of knocking the bits of PE off. It's all glued on with super glue. As long as you keep the paint off, it's not so bad. So just a bit of dust. So there's a joystick, or whatever you want to call it, to go in there. Yeah. So and then we've got all the boxes at the back. I'm not sure if they're a combination of two things, either the radios or the actual ammunition boxes for the cannons. I think they're ammunition boxes myself, but I'll look into that a bit more. So that's all I want to do with the weathering. If you look at the reference book again, some of it emulates that, but it's a lot more complex in the real aircraft than it is as a model. But this does kind of give you a good impression of what it looks like. And I've got the seat to do yet anyway, so that's the next stage. And I'm going to fit the seat now. So I'll get that. That's the next job to build. So we'll get on with the seat. So I'm quite happy with that. So what it's showing to do now on the instructions is to install. I'm just going to zoom out a bit. I'll put that over there for now. That can be glued onto there now. There we go. It's very difficult to show on camera with it being black. I'll zoom it in a bit more, see if it'll focus. But, as a cockpit goes, for a black cockpit, I'm quite impressed with it. I think it's very nice indeed. I think when the seat's in, you probably won't see as much of it. Focus. This side's particularly interesting, I like it. But yeah, I'm impressed. I've painted up and fitted these boxes. It's suggested, iron as a colour. I think that's something like, I don't want this gizmo at the back is. Now there are some decals to go on that, but they're very, 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 very tiny. And there are some on the top as well, which I can fit at any point. But those on the back, I don't see the point, because this has got a bulkhead there. There's some oxygen bottles in it and stuff, which you can probably see from the top, but you certainly can't see anything from this end. So the tiny little decals, I'm not going to bother with those, there's no point. I think you better see down there, because I think that's part of the cockpit opening. So you should be able to see the oxygen bottles and things like that. I hope you can, because there's quite a bit to do with those. So that's that bit done. Move on to the next stage. Okay, starting on the ejector seat now. So that's just basically two halves. And then you've got this bit at the bottom, stuff like that. You get a seat with pre-moulded in seat belts if you want to use them, but there are some PE ones as well, so I'm going to use those. You get two seat tops for different pull cords on. One's got that one on, that one's got that one on. I'm going to use that one, I think, which is a shame, because that's a lot easier to paint than that one, so it's got the stripy lines on it. And yeah, that's the one I'll be using for this, I think. So I'll get the seat built up and basically painted, and then we'll start adding detail to it. So the main structure is getting this bit glued together, and then this bucket and the top part of it. Right, that's a basic seat structure built. It doesn't have any cushions in it or anything yet. But all of that is black, apart from this pull handle here. Now to let the seat work, basically you can pull that thing there, or you can pull that thing there. There is some PE in the kit for that bit, which is this pull handle here. Sorry, for that bit there. For this pull, but it's the wrong shape. It doesn't look right to me, so I'm going to leave that. And I've decided to put this particular pull handle on because if you read the book, this is the later version of the seat with the and this is on the Belgian one. And if you look at the headrest, you only get one headrest in the kit, and the headrest is wrong if you put the other pull set on it, the twin ones. So you either get one thing wrong or the other. You've either got the wrong seat in an earlier aircraft, or you've got a correct seat pull handle with the wrong headrest on it. So I've gone for this. I prefer this to paint. To be fair, it's easy. I don't mind. I'm not that critical about things like that. So that's what we're going to do. So that needs painting black first of all, and then we'll go from there. Okay, painted the seat black and given it a coat of satin varnish. So what I've done, I've painted this, I brush painted that just with some yellow stripes on it, and I've done that pull handle red. I'm not sure what colour that's supposed to be. I don't know if it's that one or not, but I'm happy with that. So what I need to do now is look at getting the backrests in there and the seat pad, and then adding the seat belts and then weathering it up a bit. Alright, things have changed. You may notice on my channel that things start off in one direction and then tend to go off in another. Because when you build a model, you tend to evolve with it, don't you? You tend to think, yeah, I do. I mean, I change my mind all the time. Now then, I've got issues with the seat because, I'll take it apart, that's the pilot figure fitted. I did that last night actually, because when you put the arms on, you pose them in the right position so you've got his hand on the joystick and you've got this hand on the throttle, which is all good. So I put that in there last night just to make sure it fit properly. And you've got to fit, if you're going to fit the pilot, you've got to fit him before you put this side on, because you can get the seat in, but you can't get the pilot in afterwards, because the seat fits just in there and it fits in like a little snug. It's in those little round things at the bottom there, and they're engaged with those two things there. So that fits just like that. There's another bit to go on the seat, there's like a lever, an adjustment lever. I'll put that in a bit. So the seat goes like that, and then the pilot fits in, but you can't, once it's in, he's mansplaining, he's manspreading. You can't get his feet in, it's impossible. And I've had to take the foot controls off, as I said earlier in the video, because you can't get his feet, just get stuck. Now then, the reason I've gone down this road is I've started building the seat up, and I put the backrest in and this bit, and it's back down to the usual, my nemesis of these things is bloody PE seat belts. I think they look crap. I don't like PE seat belts. I've never had them. PE's good, got its place. When you get two sets in the kit, well then you get, again, it doesn't make it very clear in the kit as to which ones are which. So you get a blue set, partly, and then you get all these normal tan coloured ones. And obviously they're only coloured on one side. So I hate them. I really don't like seatbelts. I don't like seatbelts at all in airplanes. I don't like doing them. I find them very irritating to do. So these are all the sodding seatbelts. Now they're glued to the top of the seat here. Now anybody that's done PE knows that you can only glue PE to plastic. You can't glue it to paint, so it'll fall off. So you have to paint it, and then you scratch all the paint off and you glue it on, and then you try and manipulate the seatbelt to look something like, other than this like dead looking piece of hanging cloth which just doesn't look realistic to me. Now that's one issue I don't like the seatbelts. And it's not necessarily Revell's fault, is it? It's just PE in itself. But I'm going to go before. This book is it's a bit of a double-edged sword really, because it does highlight the errors or restrictions of moulded plastic, I think. So if you go to the and find some pictures of the seat. Come come on, where is it? Back in a minute. Right, this is what I was talking about, the headrest situation. You've got this particular top, which is what I didn't use, because this headrest is not that headrest, it's different. And yeah, it doesn't look like that, does it? So I've gone down this road, because that's kind of like that headrest, even though it's the wrong shape, it's too long, yada yada yada. I'm happy with that. The decals that it comes with, and that one's shifted, look, that blooming thing there's come on. I'll just take it off, because they're not accurate anyway. You get some other ones that are a bit understated in the kit. How that did that, I don't know. Fix that after. So none of these decals really match anything. And the seat itself, although it's probably not a complete seat pit, things have probably been removed, but this arrangement's not there at all. The bottom of the seat pad's nothing like that. This is actually in an aircraft, so again this is an aircraft with probably, I don't know if there's parts missing or not. It doesn't look right to me. It doesn't suit this. This doesn't represent this to me. And I don't like the seat belts. So yeah, that's a headrest pad again. Look, doesn't look anything like that one. That's more like something off an F-104 Starfighter or something like that. So really, if you were going to be really picky again, you'd alter the shape of that. But I'm not going to do that now. So because of all these little annoyances, I'm not going to make this seat correct. You'd have to alter it, probably. So a way around that is just get this pilot figure and put him in there, and it hides considerably lots of areas, and he fits in really nice. He's designed, he's not just a generic figure that they've just thought, we'll just slap a pilot in there. They've made him to fit this model perfect, and he does as well. He's got seatbelt harnesses that kind of blend into the back of the seat there. He's got separate heads, and you can pose the head, backwards and forwards like this, sideways, which I'm probably having looking out of one of the side windows. So I'm going to do my best to paint this figure up and make him look as good as I can. And that will cover up all the things about the seat I don't like. Now if anybody can help me out with seatbelts, because honestly I can build most things, but seatbelts, they drive me mental. I do not like these things at all. PE seatbelts, don't like them. So you're down to the fabric style, aren't you? I'm making up, I forgot the name of them now, the fabric ones that are made out of paper and bits of brass buckles and stuff. They're very good when they're done, but boy, they're difficult to build. They really are. But I think they're the best solution. Or then you can get resin seats that have got all the seat belts built in, and you just paint them on the things, and if you do it right, they look fantastic. Aries, I think Aries do them. So the seat's pretty good. I thought it was really good, but it's alright, but it's not perfect in any way, shape or form. So yeah, pilot, let's cover it up and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to get him painted up. Right, so we're on to painting the pilot. So our considerations, basically the colour of the pilot's outfit, if you like, is blue. Then he's got a Mae West on it with seatbelts on it. And then you've got the head, which is great that you can paint him separately because you don't have to mask too much. The helmet's silver, that's going to be fun, isn't it? Then the oxygen mask, it's saying it's like a green colour. Got a bit of silver in there as well from the helmet. And then you've got your black visor. So yeah, it's going to be fun to paint that, but it's important to do it right because it'll look rubbish if it's not. So I'm going to mask it if I can. What I'm going to do is a base coat. I'll paint the whole thing black, I think. His gloves are white. Feet I don't really care. I'll paint them black, but you won't see his feet. You won't see that part of the legs at all, really. And then you've got the seat harnesses to pick out and everything. So let's get cracking with that. Okay, painting process. I've painted them with primer white to start with. Okay, painted the face with LP66 flat flesh, and I've painted the Mae West with Desert Yellow XF59 Tammy, and that's the colours that the call out for the Mosquito, 32nd Mosquito I was building, so I'm just using the same colour scheme. I'll use the same blue for the uniform. So what I need to do now is let those two dry for quite a bit. I'm going to start using some liquid mask to mask it off. Right, slow process. I suppose it's a bit over the top really. You could brush paint it, but you certainly can't brush paint the helmet because it needs to be nicely done as a helmet. So I masked off all the face and around the helmet at the moment because I want to paint in black. And then when that's dry I want to mask off that bit and then paint this face mask green. So there's quite a lot of different colours in that little bit, and then you need to, when that's all dry, you mask off the whole face and the whole of the helmet, and then paint the whole helmet silver, and then mask that off, and then paint the visor. So the slow process part of this is waiting for the actual masking fluid to dry. I'm doing the same with the pilot, so he's just got his Mae West in there, and I've got the hands that are white anyway, so you can touch those up afterwards. Right. Considerable amount of time later, that's the best we can do with this pilot. Quite happy with that actually. What I did do, I added just the little tabs off the PE onto the harnesses there, and I put the harness central bit on this belt buckle there. I think it looks alright actually. As I say, I use that for the Mae West, I use that for the uniform. I use some LPT for the gloves. And then give it a coat of matte varnish basically, and then dusted it over with some sand. I think it looks great, just sand, it works and everything. I took the decals off the seat because I don't like them. I don't think they're very accurate. I might look into that. You can't see this part of the seat by the way when it's in the cockpit. So I might put some more on, but I'll look into that a bit later. So that bit can go into the cockpit now. So I need to put his head on obviously, I'll show you the head in a minute. When you put the body in, you've got to make sure you get the hand on the joystick properly because it just clashes. I'll do that off camera because I don't want to break it. Right, the head's here. That took considerable amount of masking and painting as well because the helmet's silver and this bit's glossy and that bit's glossy. Believe it or not, that face mask is green. It looks very dark green, well it is dark green, that's why. Then I had to paint all the black around the rim and around the back of the helmet. So there you go. I've not even considered trying to pick out eyeballs and things like that. I don't think it works. So I'm going to stick his head on in a minute and I'll get him in the cockpit. Right, there we go. It's taken me pretty much, I don't know, a good half a day to do this pilot. I'm really happy with it, it's worked out well and I think it suits the model. The pilot's so good and I love how he can pose his head to one side and everything. It does cover up a lot of the cockpit detail, but I don't mind that. It doesn't cover up this side though, so this side's okay. At this point now you can actually join the fuselage or this cockpit tub. I've got that sussed now, you just trim a bit off the control panel there and it goes quite well. So that's the finished cockpit tub. Well, I think that's not finished yet because you've got the guns to fit on it. I think the guns go on the side here. So we're still not in a position where we can put it in the nose of the Meteor. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I like it. I think it looks great. Super pilot that. To get the glossy visor, I used some UV resin. It's the best way of getting a gloss on anything. Obviously you can't do it on large areas, but for little details and accents and stuff, you just drop some resin on it, kind of self-levels. You can actually heat it up with the hairdryer as well. But be careful on this because it could just spread everywhere. And then just cure it and it'll stay shiny forever with that. So there we go. Pilot done. Quite pleased to get to that point. I'm not a fan of cockpits, I'm not a cockpit aficionado. I like to get models complete and ready for painting, but yeah, it's gone well. It's kind of reinvigorated my interest in 30-second scale models again because it gives you that opportunity to get the detail out of them, doesn't it? So I'm going to join that now and I'll be back. Okay, we're moving on to adding some more bits now. There's a bulkhead at the back here and there's one at the front, and then there's a tub to go underneath here to put the weight in to keep the nose leg down. Then we've got the guns to put on the side. Now this is an interesting bit that goes on the back. You glue these oxygen bottles together in two halves, which is fine, and then you've got this piece that goes there like that, which you need to paint in black yet. Fits just there like that. And then you put this on there. Like so. Now, I don't understand why, because you can't, that's that bulkhead there, see, all around it. You can't see those oxygen bottles at all, so why have they put them in the kit? I mean, Airfix are good at doing things like that, building kits with detail you can never see again, but you know, I just don't see the point of doing that at all, unless you're going to, maybe they do it because they assume people might open it up, and I don't know, but that's nuts. Just nuts. Oh well, I'm not going to paint them, so there's no point. I mean, he does give it a colour, you know, black with some silver things around them. Never to be seen again. Anyway, so that needs painting black. And the top of that bit, I'll just paint it all black. So, back when that's done. Right, okay, I've fitted the little plate in the back of there, and this bulkhead at the back. Oxygen bottles are in there, but as I said, you can't see them. There's also this piece that you make up. This is the front nose, and this piece you glue on, and then you paint the whole thing silver. Now what I've used for silver on this model, and if I was going to paint the model silver, which I'm kind of, I don't know yet, I'm not sure. LP11 Tamiya, beautiful paint this. It's perfect for any painted silver aircraft. I've used this for the wings on a P-51 Mustang, which obviously are painted. It's a lovely colour, and it's so fine is the pigment in it, you can't, there's no graininess to it or anything. And it takes a decal, you can put a decal straight onto that and it works fine, then you can lacquer over it. I also did the pilot's helmet with it, and that's been lacquered over the top with a lacquer based paint, and it's fine, it doesn't react to it or anything. So strongly recommend that as a basic silver paint. It's just called silver, nothing else to it. So that bit goes on the front, just there, and that forms the basis or the mounting point for the front nose leg, which you'll see later on in the build. So that needs to glue onto the front of there. And then also we have this, which is all this does is, I basically painted it silver because I just did. And that fits just there, and that's to accommodate a nose weight, to keep the thing from sitting on the floor at the back. And it recommends on the instructions to put 50 grams in it. So what I've done, I've made a piece of lead weight. This is 60 grams actually, because it just worked out that way. And that sits in there like that. I'll glue it into place, and then that will glue just there, like so. And that's the weight that you need in this front of this model. So what I'm going to do is going to glue these two pieces into place, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Right, moving on. The next stage is to fit the guns. Now the guns are, you have the gun bays that fit in it. It's a bit very much like an F-86 Sabre. It's got guns on the sides. This one's armed a lot better though, with cannons obviously. So you've got two cannons, and one fits. You've got that cap to fit on there, by the way. That's the clockwork mechanism for feeding the actual cannon shells. So that goes there, and that one goes there. And then when you put the side on, I'm just going to take that cover off. Just get it in the right place. That's what you got on display when it's finished. Then you've got the covers. And the covers fit beautifully, they'll just pop on there. Now what I'm going to do is have this one displayed, and what I've done with this side, I've glued that cover in place. I'm not going to have that one on display. I'll do that with the engines as well. I'm going to have one engine displayed and one not. So this side of the aeroplane is going to be completely finished off with the plan is to, with the engine, you get a dolly with the engine. So I'm going to have one of the engines out of the aircraft, which will be this one. You won't be able to tell it's not there, I don't think, unless you look down the front of it, of course. And I'll have this one on this side in the aircraft exposed. So that's the plan. So this side will be all exposed, that side won't be. So that's the cannon display, and that's what I need to do. So I don't need to fit anything on that side because you can't see it. So that's the bay. and that's the cover for this side. The other thing I need to do about this side here is decide what, if I need to add any more detail to it before I paint it all. So I'm going to go away now. I'm going to have a look at some reference photographs and see if there's anything worth adding to that. I don't think there will be really, but I'll be back. Okay, don't rely on this particular book that you get with it for anything to do with that weapons bay, because that's the only picture you get of anything to do with the weapons whatsoever, which is pretty much useless. So to the internet we go. These are the gun bays. I've looked at pictures. There's not a right lot of I only looked briefly, but I can't find a right lot of information on the gun bays at all. Quite not many pictures at all. Anyway, so, and the one that I could find, there's very little in there of any interest really. So I masked off the bits that need to be black. This is black, that's black, that isn't. It's just a mounting point for the gun, but you can't see when it's done. And then you've got this pipe here, that's it really. Then you've got the guns themselves. Now the ammunition belt, I'm assuming that's what that is obviously, is a different colour to this drum. This drum's like an aluminium colour and this is like an iron colour, I think. So that'll have to be painted one colour, then masked again, and then I don't like brush painting things. I try and avoid that if I can, especially metallics, because they're just brush paint rubbish. I know you can get some quite nice brush painting metallics now, but I'm of the opinion airbrush stuff looks better than brush paint stuff regardless. And if I can do it, I will. The only downside to it is it takes a bit more time, but I don't care, I've got plenty of time, so I'll get that painted and then we'll be back. Right, there we go. It's a lot of work for, in my opinion, for a little gain. It's alright, but I've never been right keen on displaying guns on aircraft. I did it on the Spitfire quite a lot, put a lot of work into that. Anyway, so that's what you get when you finish. But that's what the real ones don't look much different. They're not like, there's not much going on there. So at that point, once that's done, I've got to remember to paint inside the inside part of this framework here, because that's silver as well. So there we go. So you can put the sides together. They're the guns there. That bit of the bulkhead is the actual points of the guns, or the blast tubes or whatever. I don't think it's an actual gun itself, because there's big tubes go down here. So that we can join those fuselage halves together now. Now this is the gun cover that goes on there, and it fits really well actually. They kind of push fit quite well. At the moment, as the way it's going, I don't think I'll have that exposed anyway, so I just think it looks naff. What I'm thinking of doing from a display point of view is, if you've got a pilot sat in the cockpit ready to fly, he ain't going to sit there with an engine hanging out of his plane, or the cover's open and the gun's exposed, does it? So I know it's just a display, isn't it? It's just a model, but I'm thinking, I don't know if you could take the covers off or not on the engine itself, but I'm going to have one of the engines out of the model on a trolley and the other one exposed, but I think you can probably take the cover on and off, and you can certainly do it with this. So you can just put it in place and take it off if you want to. Now you may notice I've painted that silver. You know, like I was saying about changing my mind a lot. Well, that's painted silver and then lacquered just to see how it looks, and I'm really happy with that. And that's not been sanded yet, because with lacquer based paints, when I tend to let them dry and then I just polish them up. So what I'm thinking of doing is making it like that. Now this is a flying example of it's a, I don't know if it's the original aircraft, but this was an aircraft that was in the Korean War, and it shot down 2 MiGs apparently. So I'm really erring towards doing that colour scheme. 2 reasons for it. It's actually damn sight easier to paint than that. I mean, at the moment I could do with some nice easy wins at the moment, because I've been doing a lot of building recently, and to do that colour scheme, or even especially that colour scheme, take a considerable amount more work. Silver's quite easy, as long as you can crack the actual silver itself. So I'm going to do a silver one, I think. I think it'll look quite cool, especially if I can make it all shiny, because I like shiny stuff. I'm a bit of a magpie. I'll just take that off. That should be dry enough. So when that's glued on there, which is the next job of course, fits beautiful. Look at that, it's just seamless. If I can get all the rest of the model as nice as looking as that piece of plastic, I'll be very, very happy. So yeah, that's the plan. So right, next job, nearly done with this. It's got the instrumentation on the top of the gun sight to fit on there. I'll just go through the book. So done that bit. Yeah, I've just got this bit to do. And then we've got the ejection chutes for the cartridges for the cannon shells. And that's it for that front nose cone, and then we're on to the rest of it. So, and all you do then is you join the fuselage halves at the back, and then it just jump and put the top bit on, and it jumps straight to the engine's construction. Yeah, I think once I've done the gun sight and stuff, we'll conclude the video at that point, and then we'll move on. The next video will be done on the engines, but there won't be much time between the videos because I've got plenty of time at the moment. So this will get published, and then a few days later the next one will get published. So I'll get them done quite quickly, and it'll just be in a playlist then. Okay, that's the gun sight. You've got a little PE back of it and two pieces to it, and then you've got the bottom part, bottom plate, and that just fits on there like that. Just need to glue that in place, so I'll do that next. Okay, there's these ejection ports for the guns. That's where the cannon shells come out of. That's all right to me. That's the wrong way up. There we go. So just drop a bit of soup extra thin in that. Make sure you get the right way up. That one won't go the wrong way up actually. Oops. There we are. So that's the nose cone finished to the point where the instructions say it's finished for now. So I'll end the video at this point. That's quite a lot of work in that. Needs tidying up, needs the little seam lines fixing on there, and so there's a seam line underneath that needs sorting out. But yeah, quite happy with that. There's quite a lot of work in it though. It's heavy as well because of that lump of lead in it. Yeah, so that's part one. Part two will follow quite shortly. And that'll be probably starting off building the engines. Or at least one of the engines. I won't build them both on video. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.